Thank you for joining us on the news at this hour. I am Joy Annie. The headlines. President Tinubu in France for three-nation diplomatic tour. FCT Minister of State Dr. Mahmoud urges pilgrim to uphold discipline, national value. Nigeria's police dismisses ASP Nuhu Usman, others hands them over to Attorney General of Federation for prosecution. And federal government plans for voluntary repatriation flights from South Africa. And now the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has departed Nigeria for France, beginning a three-nation official visit that will also take him to Kenya and Rwanda. The presidential aircraft took off from the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja on Sunday, marking the start of a diplomatic tour aimed at strengthening economic partnership and attracting foreign investment. According to the presidency, Tinubu's first stop is France, after which he will travel to Nairobi to participate in the Africa-France Summit scheduled for May 11 to 12. The summit, co-chaired by French President Emmanuel Macron and Kenyan President William Ruto, will focus on key issues including energy transition, climate action, digital transformation, and economic cooperation. The president is also expected to engage with global leaders and investors during the summit as part of effort to deepen Nigeria's international economic ties. Now, the Minister of State, Federal Capital Territory (FCT), Dr. Mariam Mahmoud, has called on pilgrims embarking on the 2026 Hajj to uphold discipline, patience, and exemplary conduct as worthy ambassadors of the nation. A statement by the minister's media aide, Austin Elumoy, said Dr. Mahmoud made a call while speaking as special guest of honor at the inaugural flight and official flag-off ceremony of the 2026 Hajj operations held at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport on May 3, 2026. The minister, who described the occasion as both a logistical milestone and a deeply spiritual movement, noted that the commencement of the Hajj exercise marks the beginning of a sacred journey for thousands of Nigerians who have answered the divine call to perform one of the fundamental pillars of Islam. Dr. Mahmoud urged the pilgrims to conduct themselves in accordance with the laws and customs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, stressing that their behavior would reflect the image of Nigeria on the global stage. The minister commended the leadership of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, particularly its chairman and chief executive officer, Ismaili Abba Yusuf, alongside the Federal Capital Territory Administration, aviation authorities, and other stakeholders for their dedication to ensuring a smooth and well-coordinated Hajj operation. She expressed confidence in the level of preparedness demonstrated by all agencies involved, noting that it reflects a strong commitment to the welfare, safety, and comfort of the pilgrims. Members of the All Progressives Congress (APC) have expressed support for the mode of primaries adopted by the party's national leadership, describing it as a step that will strengthen unity and position the party for success in the 2027 general elections. One of the party stakeholders who spoke on the development is Alhaji Usman Yahya, the APC candidate in the last area council election in Gwagwalada Area Council. He noted that the choice of either direct primaries or consensus arrangement by the party leadership is in the best interest of the APC, adding that it will promote internal cohesion and ensure credible candidates emerge for the elections. Let's join correspondent Abdullahi Mukhtar for the story.
With the 2027 general elections draw closer, the APC national leadership has fixed the 20th of this month for its primaries to select flag bearers for various elective positions. Alhaji Usman Yahya emphasized that the agreed process reflects the collective will of the party and should be respected by all members. On the reported unanimous adoption of the chairman of Abaji Area Council, Alhaji Abubakar Umar Abdullahi, as the APC senatorial aspirant in Gwagwalada, Alhaji Yahya said he remains a loyal party member who aligns himself with decisions taken by the party leadership. He stressed the importance of unity and discipline in achieving electoral victory.
There are certain things we ought to sit down and check. It is nobody's birthright to represent the people. Let the people pick whom they want based on the antecedents that they have.
Reacting to criticism surrounding the senatorial aspiration of Alhaji Abubakar Umar Abdullahi, particularly regarding his age, Alhaji Usman Yahya dismissed such concerns, noting that individuals younger than the Abaji chairman has previously been elected to represent the Federal Capital Territory at the National Assembly.
There are people that went to the House of Reps younger than Abubakar and became senators. They went to the House of Reps when they were far younger than Abubakar, and they have not done anything to show. The only identity they have, the only criterion used was that they are indigenous people and that they should be given the chance to serve.
The Gwagwalada APC chairmanship candidate further called on the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Yesun Wike, to focus on the affairs of his party, the People's Democratic Party PDP, and allow the APC to conduct its primaries without interference. According to him, a transparent and peaceful primary process will enhance the APC's chances of delivering victory for the president in 2027.
A very active man, a person who is concerned about the development of the FCT. He should also be fully concerned about the political development of the FCT. Because finally, we are staying here with him. Just like I came and remain here, Wike is not going back anywhere. He's going to be here.
Meanwhile, aspirants within the party have begun purchasing their expression of interest and nomination forms in preparation for the scheduled primaries. Abdullahi Mukhtar, ASO Television News.
Now, the management of the National Youth Service Corps NYSC has approved Thursday, 21st May 2026 as a passing out date for the 2025 Batch A Stream 2 Corps members. The activities heralding the event will commence on Tuesday, 5th May 2026 and will include job advisory and counseling JAC, but the NYSC and other relevant agencies, as well as the signing of the final clearance by the zonal inspectors. The low-key event will feature the distribution of certificates of national service to deserving Corps members in all the local government areas of the country. The Director General, Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu, wishes the Corps members a successful winding up and passing out exercise. He also urges them to allow the core values of the scheme to guide them in their post-service relationship as good ambassadors of NYSC. And now the Nigeria Police Force has announced the dismissal of ASP Nuhu Usman and the other officers implicated in the killing of Mene Ogidi in Efurun, Delta State on the 26th of April 2026, following the ratification of their dismissals by the Police Service Commission. Force spokesperson, DSP Anthony Okon Placid, who disclosed this during a briefing at the Force headquarters on Sunday while parading the suspects, said the case file of the implicated officers have been handed over to the Attorney General of the Federation for vetting and prosecution.
Following the conclusion of investigations, ASP Nuhu and 3 other members of his team have been arrested and currently in custody. Internal disciplinary procedures have been concluded against all officers found culpable. The Force wishes to state clearly and without ambiguity that all indicted officers have been recommended for dismissal from the Nigerian Police Force. The Police Service Commission has reviewed and ratified these recommendations. Their dismissal is therefore confirmed and takes immediate effect. The case file has been formally forwarded to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation for vetting and prosecution.
Recall that the leadership of the force under IGP Olatunji Dosho has ordered the immediate dismissal of ASP Nuhu Usman and other officers involved in the killing of the unarmed civilian. IGP Dosho directive followed the conclusion of disciplinary proceedings conducted by the Force Disciplinary Committee and the Orderly Room Tribunal at the force headquarters in Abuja. The force had said the dismissal were subject to PSG and PSC ratification in line with statutory requirement, while assuring that all culpable officers would be handed over for criminal prosecution. The latest move by the force marks a renewed push for accountability within the police, with authorities stressing that due process will be followed to ensure justice is served, while reinforcing institutional discipline and public confidence in the rule of law. The force public relations officer further disclosed that the force will cooperate fully with the ADF's office to ensure that this matter is prosecuted to its logical conclusion before a court of competent jurisdiction. You're watching ASO Television News. We are live on DSTV channel 392, also on StarTimes TV channel 127 and Free TV channel 507. We are also on the UHF band on channel 38. Now, still to come on the news. Federal government plans for voluntary repatriation flights from South Africa. Stay with us for details of this and more after the break.
Stand up slowly.
Wura Adeleke abducted my friend Tununu.
Rest in peace, Tununu.
Man from skin.
I will break this thing for him. Talk now. So he's dead.
The patient is having intraoperative seizure.
I'm sorry, but she's gone.
To Koinsola Adeleke, the new CEO, Frontline Gold Mine.
Many thanks for staying there. Now, as part of effort to ensuring good governance and national development, United Nations Women Representative to Nigeria, Ms. Beatrice Ayong, has called for quality and professional leadership recruitment process at all levels of governance in the country. Speaking during a leadership conference in Abuja, Ms. Ayong described bad leadership as one of the factors hindering development and progress in most countries of the world, while stressing the need for regular training and retraining of younger generation on productive and effective, efficient leadership. Ms. Ayong emphasized the need for leaders to be relevant and impactful in their endeavors. Earlier, the convener of the conference, Dr. Linus Okerie, said the event was organized to update the knowledge of leaders, policymakers, and emerging change makers, among others, for national growth and transformation. Dr. Okerie advised leaders at all levels to always be in the vanguard of adding value to their organizations and society towards ensuring a better and prosperous country. The conference, which was organized in collaboration with UN Women, featured paper presentation by leadership experts, debate, discussions, and interaction by the participants. Now, the Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, has refuted misleading claims circulating about its passport application and payment process. In a statement issued by the Service Public Relations Officer, Deputy Comptroller of Immigration, Akinlabi Akinshola, the NIS emphasized that it operates a secure, transparent, and government-approved passport application system accessible exclusively through its official portal. According to the statement, this remains the only authorized platform for all passport-related payments and processing activities for Nigerians both at home and in the diaspora. The service stressed that at no time has it partnered with or authorized any religious organization, private entity, or individuals to act as an intermediary or receive payments on its behalf. The statement described recent allegations suggesting that the name of a religious organization appears in the service payment process as entirely false, noting that such claims do not reflect the structure, integrity, or processes of the NIS. It added that a simple review of the authorized payment portal confirms the transparency and authenticity of its systems. The service warned that any third-party payment link or platforms claiming to process passport payment on its behalf are fraudulent and should be avoided. The NIS further disclosed that it is investigating the source of the false claims. Preliminary findings, according to the statement, point to the involvement of individuals attempting to tarnish the service reputation or mislead the public for ulterior motives. It assured that appropriate action will be taken against anyone found culpable. The NIS is urged the public to remain vigilant, use only its official portal, and avoid engaging with unauthorized agents, websites, or third-party platforms. It reaffirmed that it does not recognize or provide any alternative payment options for passport applications or related services. For further inquiries or assistance, the public is advised to contact the NIS through its verified communication channels. Now, the federal government has commenced arrangement to evacuate its citizens from South Africa, with at least 130 individuals already registered for voluntary repatriation flights aimed at raising anti-foreigner tension in the country. The development follows renewed protests and incidents of xenophobic riotics in parts of South Africa, particularly in Pretoria and Johannesburg, where demonstrators have blamed the undocumented migrants for economic hardship, unemployment, and insecurity. In a statement shared on her X handle on Sunday, Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegwu Ojukwu, noted that the safety of Nigerians abroad remains the government's top priority. The Foreign Affairs Minister disclosed that so far, 130 applicants have duly registered for the exercise with the mission in South Africa, as the figure is expected to rise. Mrs. Odumegwu Ojukwu noted that anxiety had grown in recent weeks over anti-foreigner protests, some of which have targeted Nigerians in select cities. She added that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has expressed grave concern on this situation and has called for more effective control of the situation by relevant host security services. Mrs. Odumegwu Ojukwu, however, confirmed the death of 2 Nigerian nationals in separate incidents involving security personnel. Now, Nigeria is calling for fairness and stronger support for developing economies in the global push towards net zero emission in shipping. At the 84th session of the Marine Environment Protection Committee, the MEPC 84, organized by the International Maritime Organization in London, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, reaffirmed Nigeria's support for decarbonization, but warned that climate policies would reflect the realities of developing nations. He stressed that the transition of net zero emission by 2050 should not place additional burden on countries facing economic and infrastructure challenges, noting that climate action must align with sustainable development, economic growth, and social stability. On the sideline of the meeting, Oyetola held talks with Arsenio Dominguez and Fawaz Al-Shehali, focusing on maritime security, capacity building, and a fair energy transition. Nigeria also reaffirmed its commitment to stronger international collaboration, with discussions highlighting technical cooperation, blue economy development, and inclusive policies to support a balanced global maritime future. And Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, has warned bank directors and industry leaders to strengthen corporate governance or face decisive regulatory action, declaring that strong governance is the foundation of trust and stability in the financial system. He gave the warning in a keynote address by the Chartered Institute of Directors, the CLOD, induction ceremony on Sunday in Lagos, represented by the Director of Banking Supervision, CBN, Dr. Olubukola Akinwumi. Cardoso stressed that the success of the recently concluded Bank recapitalization exercise will depend largely on the quality of leadership and oversight provided by directors. According to him, Nigeria's financial sector has just completed a historic recapitalization exercise. These reforms, he said, was not simply a regulatory requirement. It was a strategic imperative to strengthen resilience, enhance investor confidence, and ensure that the institutions are positioned to support sustainable economic growth. He, however, cautioned that recapitalization alone is not sufficient, adding that as the nation economy entered this new phase, the role of directors became even more critical. Highlighting the consequences of the weak governance, Cardoso said the Apex Bank would not hesitate to act where necessary. The CBN governor noted that over the years, Nigeria's banking system has been repeatedly tested by failures of corporate governance, adding that where governance fails, the regulator must act to safeguard depositors and the economy. He recalled recent interventions by the CBN, noting in January 2024 it dissolved the board and management of 3 banks due to serious governance lapses and regulatory breaches, stressing that such actions underscores the bank's zero tolerance for infrastructure. It also further declared that new regulatory regime would demand higher levels of discipline from directors. Away to sport now. The final day of the World Relay Championship in Gabon, Botswana, produced yet another mixed day for Team Nigeria, with 2 teams securing tickets for the World Champions to join the 4 by 100-meter mixed relay team that qualified on the opening day of the championship. The quartets of Samson, Nathaniel, Taiwo, Kudoro, Chidi Okeze, and Patience Okon-George ran a season best of 3:12.88 seconds to finish second in Heat 2 of the 4 by 400-meter mixed relay repage to pick one of the 2 tickets available, with South Africa picking the other ticket, having won the race in 3:12.77 to seal their place at next year's World Championships. A member of the team, Thompson Omokwe, said they proved doubters wrong by picking a ticket without any of the foreign-based athletes. The women's 4 by 100-meter recovered from a baton mishap on day 1 to also finish second in Heat 2 with all home-based athletes. Rosemary Nwankwo Jennifer, Chukwuka Maria Thompson Omokwe, and Miracle Ezechukwu running their best race to clock 42.94 seconds behind France, who won the heat in 42.92 seconds. According to Thompson Omokwe, they proved doubters wrong by picking up tickets without any of the foreign-based athletes. For the 4 by 100-meter mixed relay team, the quartets of Favor Ashe, Jennifer Chukwuka Obi, Chidera Ezekoa, and Maria Thompson Okowa secured a ticket for the maiden World Ultimate Championships, a new premier 3-day event in Budapest, Hungary, from September 11 to 13, 2026, after finishing 6th in the final, in a race won by Jamaica with a new world record of 39.62 seconds. And they will also go home with $6,000. But that's the news. But before we go, a look at one of our major stories again. We told you that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in France and to further boost the economy and strengthen bilateral ties for Nigeria. I am Joy Annie. Thank you for watching.